board will now reconvene into open session. The time is 6 o'clock. We thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. At this time, we'd respectfully ask you to turn off the sound of your cell phones. And may I remind anyone wishing to address the board that they must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting. That's that. Okay, now as your Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals for the district, listen to reports presented by the superintendent and his designees, approve and review the budget, approve certain personnel appointments and contracts, and make policy for the district. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent. It's the board's responsibility to govern the affairs of the district and ensure that the district is moving forward, meeting these visions and goals that are set on an annual basis. Meeting times for board meetings are posted on the AISD website at www.abileneisd.org, and the public is invited to attend. This time, I'd like to ask Dr. Jordan Zemer, Executive Director for Communications, to come and lead us in our invocation and prayer. Welcome, Dr. Zemer.
Heavenly Father, thank you again for the opportunity to join tonight with our community and have the opportunity to make decisions that are in the best interest of our students and families and staff. And Father, I ask that you bless our board members and our administrators and leaders to continue to do just that, to have the courage to make great decisions for every kid and family in Abilene and Abilene ISD. Bless us tonight. Be with us tonight, Father. It's in your Son's name I pray. Amen. All right, if you'll join me and stand, please, for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Be seated.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item C, Board Superintendent Announcements. Dr. Waldron, do you have any announcements for us tonight?
Yes. So, ignore the nameplate. My name is Joe Waldron. I'm the Deputy Superintendent at Abilene ISD. Our superintendent's on his way. He'll be here in a moment. But thank you for the opportunity to get started. We have several people in the audience today to be recognized. It's exciting to see you all. But I do have a few things to remind the board about. We had 3 awesome graduation ceremonies at the end of May. The weather cooperated. All things came together to have a great 3 ceremonies in a row. The work done to prepare and to honor those families was incredible. Next, there's a lot happening in Abilene ISD this summer that extends from our facilities and operations to summer programming that varies from the classroom to the field and everything in between. So you can go around Abilene ISD and see a lot going on even during the summer. Next, I have a date for you to put on your calendars. Convocation for the 25-26 school year is August 5th, Bellway Park Church on the south side, starting at 10 a.m. The theme this year is Make a Splash. And if you were at last year's convocation, this one will be a notch above, I'm sure. The administrative retreat to kick off the year with our administrators will be happening at Hartford Learning Center, 7/29, Tuesday, July 29th. Staff comes back August 4th, so those of you who are teachers in the room or support our school district out in the classroom or another way, I'm sorry, but August 4th is the day you come back. And then just a little reminder that in August there's a very special board meeting in August annually as one of the responsibilities of the board to set the budget and the tax rate. We normally do that during the last week of August, but this year because of other things, it's going to happen about mid-August, so look for an invitation for that. It should be coming soon I don't think it's already happened, but it will be coming soon. And that's it, Ms. President.
Well, thank you. We are suffering with a little summer bug. We're missing some key staff and key board members, but we're going to move on and we can conduct business tonight, and also, most exciting, honor some well-deserving students. and staff. Did we have any other announcements from anybody else on the board? If not, let's see, oral communication. Wait. Recognitions, okay, sorry about that. We do have to, now we're gonna move on to item 4, which is recognitions on your agenda. This first group is the Visual Arts Scholastic Event State Competitors, and we have Mr. Clay Johnson making his way to the front. He is our Executive Director of Fine Arts. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Dr. Waldron and President Wiley, members of the board. It is always a treat to tell you about the accomplishments of our fine arts students and teachers, and today we have 3 recognitions. First, I am recognizing high school art students for their acceptance into state VASE. The Texas Art Education Association sponsors the Visual Arts Scholastic event every year. The event's mission is to recognize exemplary student achievement in the visual arts by providing students a program with a standard of excellence in which to achieve. The event is held in person and involves a student showing their artwork and discussing it with a juror. This year, our district boasts 11 students with 13 artworks who have received the honor of advancing to compete at the statewide event. As you can see, their work is being projected on the screens alongside their names. From Abilene High School, our state competitors were Sephora Ibando, Carrie Nelson, Holly Nolan, and Burnley Sprott. They are here today with us with their teacher, Miss Kelly Fuller. If y'all would please stand, be recognized.
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, due to the timing of the year, some of our students from Cooper and Adams weren't able to attend tonight, but we'd like to recognize them as well. From Cooper, our state competitors were Siri Mata, Holly Burris, Jennifer Rojas, Candy Kelshi, Madison Halford, Kaya Kallman, and Toby Normand. These students were taught by Melody Carter, Ashley Lawrence, and Leslie Lamb. All of these students' state qualifying artworks were assessed by jurors from across the United States. Student artists who received a rating 4, which is considered exemplary at this event, were awarded a state medallion and are named an all-state artist by TAEA and VASE. The following students that received a state medallion are Jennifer Rojas, Madison Halford, Kaya Kallman, we have Holly Nolan with 2 distinctions, and Sephora Ibando with 2 distinctions. Congratulations to all these students and their teachers.
Yes, please, come on up.
Perfect, guys. We'll have y'all just join right in the middle there. And then, Angie, would you mind scooching over just a little bit? We're going to arrange a little bit. There we go. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And 1 more for good measure. Thank you.
Thank you, that is amazing.
For our second recognition this evening, I am pleased to recognize 2 Abilene ISD art students for their acceptance into a statewide art exhibition held in Austin. The Youth Art Month State Capitol Exhibition is hosted by the Texas Art Education Association and is an annual exhibition that advocates the strength and importance of visual art programs in schools. The reviewing committee sorts through hundreds of entries, and acceptance to this exhibition is a huge honor. Tonight with us we have Wendy Rose Villamore, an 8th grader at Craig Middle School. Her work is titled Light's Last Breath, and that you can see there on the screen. Congratulations to Wendy Rose, and a special thank you to her art teacher, Emily Fanning, for supporting and encouraging her. We had one other student who's unable to be here tonight, and that's for Victoria Moreno from Cooper High School. Her place was titled Boredom, and it's also projected on the screen. Both of these artworks were on display at the Bob Bullock Museum in Austin this spring. A ceremony was held in March where both students received their certificates and medals. Please join me in congratulating these outstanding students.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
If you 2 want to scoot in just a little bit more. There we go. Good job. Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3. And 1 more. Thank you.
Good job, girls.
And for our final recognition this evening, I am thrilled to recognize state and national honors for students in the speech debate team from Abilene High School. The Abilene High School speech and debate team had an outstanding competitive season and did extremely well at each level of competition. Tonight, we are excited to share with you these students who have been recognized at the state and national levels. First, we have Siler Richardson, who's not in attendance tonight. He's doing Boys State in Austin. He was a state qualifier in CX debate to the UIL 5A State CX debate tournament and was also a state qualifier in persuasive extent to the UIL 5A State speech contest. Tonight, we have Caitlin Johnson. Caitlin was state qualifier in Congress to the UIL 5A State Congress contest. And we also have Lainey Mars. Lainey is a national qualifier to the National Speech and Debate Association tournament in Congress, House, and United States extemp, competing in USX. National qualifier in extemp for National Individual Events Tournament of Champions. State qualifier in domestic extemp to the Texas Forensic Association State Tournament, quarterfinalist. She's a state qualifier in Congress to the UIL 5A State Congress contest, and a state qualifier in CX debate to the UIL 5A State CX debate tournament. They'll be traveling next week to Iowa City, Iowa? Des Moines, Iowa, that's right, for the national tournament, and we're so proud of them. Their coach, Scott Stevens, has done a tremendous job. Please join me in thanking or congratulating these.
Way to go, guys. Congratulations and good luck.
Perfect. Here you go. There. Miss Wiley, you've got this down. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more for good measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Coming now, Mr. Jim Garfield, our Executive Director of Athletics, has a group of athletics state competitors to recognize. Thank
President
you
Wiley,
for being here.
Dr. Waldron, good to see you up there. Looks good on you. Board, good to see everybody. So we're gonna recognize our e-sport state qualifiers and our powerlifting qualifiers. So, come here, Coach Hope. Coach Hope, this is his second year in our being our head coach for our esports team, and as you can see, we were very well represented at the state meet. So, go ahead. It's all you want.
We're actually missing 5 of our state qualifiers here tonight. So y'all come on up behind me over here, like Sam down there. So we've got 4 different teams in 3 different games that we competed in. We made it to state. State was in Waco earlier this year, or earlier in May, at Baylor. And there were over 1,000 students from all across Texas that came and qualified for this. So really high level competition. So we've got 2 Rocket League teams. Our first Rocket League team is Rocket League Phantom, and that is Nehemiah Daughtry, Zach Kite, Brian McNally, and Noah Rangel. Joe, wave? Wave? Yeah? Okay. Then our second Rocket League team is over here. That's Shadow. That's Seth Shaw, Samantha Fannonsteel, and Ryan Lancaster. And then we've got a Mario Kart 8 team. We have 5 members on that team. 3 aren't here right now. The 2 that are here are Jacob Collier and Caden McNally, right there. And our last 2 are our Super Smash Bros. Players, Brian Jenkins and Charles Scott back here. So I'm a little biased, but I think these are the hardest working kids in the district because we don't get a break. Well, we get a tiny break, December. They play in fall online leagues, they play in spring online leagues, they play in tournaments, and they're playing against kids all across Texas. And even Mario Kart, we're in a national league as well. And what's really interesting about this is there's no divisions. There's no 1A, 2A, 6A. We're playing against everybody. So my Rocket League team, my best Rocket League player is Nehemiah right here. He is in the top 25% of all ranked people in Rocket League, which is pretty good. Well, we're playing against the top 2% of Rocket League ranked players every single week. So they're really having to work really, really hard to play against all these other teams in Texas. So the fact that they qualified for state is amazing. It's really, really cool to see them do all of that. We had some big wins this year. Our first big win is we actually hosted an esports tournament back at the Lift in March, and we're going to host another one next year. We had about 50 kids from 8 schools here in West Texas come and attend. We're looking to get more in the fall, so I'll send out an invitation to y'all to come see that. That's going to be really cool. At that tournament, Brian won the Super Smash Bros. Tournament. Our Mario Kart team took first place, dominated the competition, and got them into state. And then my varsity team here, Phantom and Rocket League, seniors, they've worked really hard for these last 2 years, and we got invited to the Texas Esports Educational Showdown last week. We finally got our tournament win. They ended their career on a really high note winning that tournament. So they did a really good job. They've been working really hard, and they're awesome. So please help me in celebrating and recognizing them for all the good hard work they've done.
Yes, I would have very much liked to attend one of those. I just can't even fathom it.
They're very tall.
don't worry
It's a
about
very tall group. We'll have to be strategic board members in the back.
Hang on.
Oh,
Names and screen names.
I feel like we're doing some acrobatics too. Okay, let's see. Actually, that's not a bad idea. So remember in the back, if you can't see me, I can't see you.
Just a
That-
minute, just a
Okay.
minute. Look, I have something back here. It's just generally too
Mr.
tall.
Goodman's right behind you. You ready to spot? Okay, can I have you scooch in just a little bit more? There we go. Good job, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A couple more. Thank you.
I need a 6. Not a 12.
Coach Hope, come here, man. High five. Great job, man. Thank you. Great job.
On YouTube? Great, thank you for that.
All right, so next we got up Coach Travis Kern from Abilene High. Going to talk about our girls powerlifting team there.
Good evening, I'm Coach Kern. I'm our girls powerlifting coach at Abilene High School. This year we had 10 girls qualify for the state competition. To qualify, they had to finish the regional meet in the top 2 for 5A Division I. With us today we got Jimena Longinos, Summer Hanley, and Analia Ramirez. We also had Layla Smith, Sitlali DeHoyas, Maya Williams, Emerald Cortez, Lana Spitz, Julia Kovacs, and Anasia Woe. Lana Spitz was a foreign exchange student from Germany that decided that wanted to powerlift and qualified for state. And Julia was a foreign exchange student from Hungary that decided she wanted to powerlift and she qualified for state. So they all did a great job and they represented us really well down in Edinburgh this year.
Congratulations. That's fun. Good job. Good job, girls.
Okay. Can I have you girls scooch this way just a little bit? Yeah. A couple more steps. That is perfect. Great job. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay, next we're going to bring up the Cooper boys and girls team. So we're going to start with Coach Scott Stewart, and then Billy Rogers will bring us in on Big K, talk about Big K. I want to thank the coaches for being here today, support these guys, not just the powerlifting guys, but the esports guys. Thanks for being here for that. All right, Coach Stewart.
Thank y'all for having us today. We have 3 young ladies making it to the state meet in Edinburgh. I don't know if you heard him, in Edinburgh, northern Mexico. It's pretty good travel. We had a great time, long time in the car with 3 young ladies, but they survived us. These are, y'all step up. Madeline Roland, yep, is my only senior. She medaled in every meet this year, did a great job. Didi Almos, junior, gonna be a senior, made tremendous strides all year. And Angel Adifo, always on time, a wonderful student. She also works at Holland. She's gonna be a doctor someday.
Yes, sir.
And they're a pleasure to be around. Thank you.
How are y'all? I'm Billy Rogers. I'm the boys powerlifting coach over at Cooper. We had one boy make it to state, Caden Bryan. Maybe you heard Coach Garfield. His nickname is Big K. I don't know if you can tell by looking at him. In powerlifting, it's split up into weight classes. He competes in the super heavyweight class. I don't know if you can tell, but he is a very large young man. He is a very strong young man as well. In every meet that he competed in up to state, he won. He was our regional champion. He holds 2 of the 4 regional records for his weight class. He competed at the state meet where he squatted 720 pounds. He bench pressed 480 pounds and deadlifted 650 pounds, which is a whole lot of weight. We told him he needed to get ready for all y'all to jump up on his back, and he can squat y'all, and y'all can see how strong he is. But he's a great young man. He's just a junior. He finished 5th as a sophomore, 3rd as a junior. So I'm not very good at math, but hopefully we're looking for a 1st place as a senior. But he's a great kid. Team captain on the football team, area regional qualifier in track, state power lifter. He's a great kid, and he is a perfect example of what a Cooper Cougar should be. So, Caden Bryan.
Way to go, Cougs.
There we go.
You want to come over here?
Yeah, maybe you can, yeah, good idea. That is perfect, Miss Earls. Okay. Couple pictures here. 1, 2, 3. And one more. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Our next group is with Miss Lucille Fullen, Director of CTE in our district. She is here with our CTE state honorees. Welcome.
I'm here with very few of our state honorees.
We are happy that you're here.
Yes. So Dr. Waldron, Ms. Wiley, board, I can name you all tonight. Thanks for recognizing our kids. We were actually on your agenda last month, and because of the parade, and we were postponed. So we had about 150 students advance to their respective state competition this year, and 40 of those placed. And tonight I have our welding group with us. I'm not going to list, like Mr. Johnson, everyone, because I would probably inadvertently leave someone out with 40 students. But our teachers and our kids work so hard all year to prepare for these competitions, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Dustin Moore, our welding teacher at the lift.
Yes, for some of y'all that I hadn't met yet, Dustin Moore, it's great to meet y'all. Good to be up here. Thank y'all for having us, and thank you for all you do. With that said, we're here to honor these. These guys have worked super hard this year. They've built 2 projects. One was a UTV cattle guard that was 12 foot by 6 foot wide that you can put in a fence line and actually drive over a UTV. Built it from scratch. Also, they built a fire pit with pull-out racks and an overhead and lots of ventilation, lots of design that goes into something like that. And they worked during class on these projects and worked really hard on them as a group. So not only working as a group, teamwork, but also just the time and the effort. So these kids right here, and I'll introduce them here in a second, but just the hard work and the dedication. I mean, I would write references for any one of them, and I'm super proud of them for what they've done, the hard work they put in. They went to district in Odessa, an area, and qualified for state. Went to the state level and in the fire pit division and they both ended up receiving blue ribbons, and they got superior ratings on their projects with plaques and photo plaques, which was pretty cool. Super proud of them for their accomplishment. We ended up having 9 kids in all go to the state contest this year, which was pretty cool. So super proud of them. With that said, tonight we do have Peyton Valdez, we got Aaron Ramirez, Emmanuel Torres, and Kevin Hernandez. And not with us tonight would be Riley Frazier, and who else are we missing? 2 others. Cannon Adams and Travis Johnson. Those are the other 3 that are not here tonight. But good job, and I can't say enough good things again, guys. I'm super proud of y'all. Super proud of y'all. Good job.
Great job. I want to know, where is that fire pit that you built?
It's at the school.
Can y'all selling anything?
Could be lucrative.
I know. Could you build me a stool?
All right, 1, 2, 3. Couple more.
Thank you.
We need 2 6-inch stools. Waiting for her.
Let me do one. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Together, and they got to cook on their own grill they made, so that was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
Yes, we did. I made some steak. Thank y'all again for having me.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Next, Dr. Waldron.
Yes,
You are
Ms.
up.
President, thank you very much. At this time, we're going to honor our Leadership Academy participants. So if you're in the audience, I know most of you, I don't want to miss anybody, so I'm just going to ask you to come up to that podium right now. And we'll do this kind of an old-fashioned way. Ms. Sims is at a conference who led this group through multiple interactions. I was a part of one of them, probably the best one, just saying. So, these fine individuals were exposed to all aspects of how our school district operates to better themselves as employees of Abilene ISD and their knowledge base for the school. A couple of them emailed me today. I know which two you guys are. But we'll start with you, Mr. Bartley. I'd like each of you to come introduce yourself, how long you've been with the district, what school you work at, and then we'll clap for you and thank you for your participation and ongoing effort in what you do every single day.
Name Jeremy Bartley, been with the district technically 10 years, had a year of subbing, 9 years of teaching. I've been at I'm at Stafford Elementary. Yep.
Hello, I'm Anita Marquez. I've been with the district 3 years, all 3 of those at Stafford Elementary.
Hi, Rena Christofferson. I've been with the district 3 years, Bowie Elementary, first grade.
Good evening, I'm Matt Marchbanks. This is my first year with the district, and I teach at Mann Middle School, or I'm sorry, Mann STEAM Academy now.
That's
Getting used to
right.
that, yeah.
I'm Morgan Pickner. I am one of the school psychologists here in the district. I serve the campuses of Purcell Elementary, Bassetti Elementary, and Ortiz Elementary as well. This is the end of my first year with the district. I'm looking forward to many more.
Yes. Thank you. Rachel.
Hi, my name is Rachel Atkins. I've been with the district technically since 2015, other than my year off to have twins. I am currently at Long Early Learning Center teaching our earliest learners here in Abilene.
Thank you very much for introducing yourself. Thank you for your commitment to learning and growing. We really appreciate the effort you put in. Let's get a picture of y'all.
I think we all have a good side. It's true. Okay. I can. Thank you for checking. That's so considerate. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more for good measure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all so much. We'll now move on to item 5, oral communication from the public. The board encourages comments about the district from members of the public. Anyone wishing to address the board must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, letting us know the agenda item or topic about which they wish to speak. Do we have any cards tonight? No cards. So we are going to move right along to our consent agenda and skip right here to item 6. The AISD Board of Trustees meeting are preceded by in-depth board workshops. We hold these meetings prior to regular meetings. The purpose of the workshop meeting of the board is to discuss items in preparation for potential consideration at future board meetings. Meeting times are posted on the AISD website, which is abileneisd.org, and the public is invited to attend. Does a board member need to remove any item for discussion from the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion.
Second.
Okay. Rodney and Danny. We'll now take a roll call vote. Bill Enriquez, absent. Taylor Tidmore, absent. Danny Wheat.
Yes.
Blair Schrader, absent. Rodney Goodman.
Yes.
Cindy Earls. Yes. Angie Wiley, yes. Motion passes 4 out of 4 votes. Thank you. At this time, we're going to move on to item 7, reports. First item A is the Fine Arts Department, which we will hear again from Mr. Clay Johnson, our Executive Director of Fine Arts. Thank you. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. It's good to be back. I was told by Dr. Waldron today I need to spend at least 2 minutes on each slide. Okay, very good. Fantastic. I promise you will not be 2 minutes on each slide.
Okay.
We're excited to report we've had a great year in fine arts this year, and so just wanted to share some of those accomplishments and various things that we've done over the year. Just kind of a highlight of our department staff. We have 3 staff members here at the 1 AISD building. I do want to draw your attention to one person who's brand new to us, and that's Zach McKinnon. He is our new secretary. Our secretary left us for another opportunity at the end of April, just right at the end of the school year, and so we got Zach on board in the middle of May, and he is just doing a tremendous job. We have 82 fine arts teachers and aides. That includes 13 elementary art teachers and aides, 14 elementary music, 14 band, 8 choir, 5 orchestra. That will be 6 next year. We hired an assistant director that will be assisting Thomas Roberts at both Abilene High School and Cooper High School for the 25-26 school year. We have 2 drill team directors, 16 art and photography teachers, 9 theater speech debate teachers, coaches, and 1 handbell director, and a partridge in a pear tree, right? Yes. We have 24 private music lesson instructors. That is an increase from last year. It's an area of our department that we're really trying to develop and get more students involved in private lessons. We have 8 piano accompanists. This is very unique. I did not realize that this was unique until this year as I was speaking to other choral teachers across the state of Texas. Those accompanists are there every single day with our choral teachers and provide the piano skills that they may or may not have so that they can focus on the vocal skills of the ensemble. And so we're very lucky to have 8 full-time, I say full-time, they're hourly employees for us. We have 4 part-time instructors. These are people that help assist in areas where we may not have an assistant director. So some of our orchestra teachers, for example, like at Mann Middle School, we have a college student from Hardin-Simmons that comes in 2 hours a day that helps tune the orchestra and get them ready for the day. Saves our teacher a lot of time so that she can handle other issues that might be in the orchestra. By the numbers, it's a busy year for us. We have 40-plus elementary music programs. 6 of those were Veterans Day programs, and of course the I Love America program at the end of the year. If you've never seen that, I highly encourage you to see it. This year was my first year to see it, and I was blown away with all the lines that the students memorized and the costuming. It's really tremendous. We had over 60 band, choir, and orchestra concerts, over 20 art shows, which included most of our elementary campuses. And this is something that is new in the last couple of years. Our elementary campuses started doing art shows, and then it just has caught on, and now almost all of them are doing it and combining it with their music programs or with their GT showcase or whatever the case may be. They're making an entire event of it and getting as many people on campus as possible. We had 15-plus theater performances, 2 high school musicals, and the first ever middle school musical in Abilene ISD at Madison Middle School this last year. They did The Wizard of Oz. I'm happy to say that next year, Mann will be doing a musical as well, so we're up to 2 out of the 4. Countless competitions, banquets, parades, gigs, public appearances, and special events. We're definitely busy, but loving every second of it. Enrollment in the arts. At the elementary level, 100% of our students are enrolled because they take music and art each week. At the secondary level, 73% of our students are enrolled in a fine arts course. And so that totals 87% of the students in Abilene ISD that are influenced by a fine arts educator in our district. For our course offerings in elementary, we are offering Kodai method, ORF, honor choirs at some of our elementary music programs, ukuleles at some, and recorders at all. All of our 5th grade students learn recorder in the 5th grade. And like I said, we have Kodai and ORF training. Those are specialties that we send our employees to training at Texas Tech. We do that annually each summer. It's a great, they do updates each summer, and it's a great curriculum that we use. For art, we have drawing, painting, watercolor, ceramics, and sculptures. We have 3 campuses that have kilns on the campus, and the campuses that do not have kilns get creative with how they do sculpture. So they make things out of paper plates or styrofoam, whatever the case may be, but we're doing all of those things in Abilene ISD. Same in our secondary courses for the art. We add the AP portfolio project to that, which is a very involved process. We go on to dance, where we have drill team. We do not have a dance program yet, but that's something that we're absolutely looking forward for in the future. In music, we have band, choir, orchestra. The list goes on and on and on. As you can see, I want to highlight indoor drumline and winter guard. Those are some things that we've just started adding in the last few years And our band programs are competing basically year-round. And so that is something that happens each spring. It's an indoor competition. And something else I want to mention is that mariachi is something else that I'm looking to start in Abilene ISD. So it'll be a process, but we're definitely looking to bring that to our district. In theater, we have production, acting, technical theater, and musical theater. And in speech, we offer debates 1, 2, and 3. Our year started off with a beautiful celebration at Convocation this year. I was approached about the first or second month on the job and said, hey, Clay, we want to really do something big this year for Convocation. We want to showcase our students. And it was an exciting and awesome and very challenging process. It was quite the production, but they pulled it off and did a great job, and we could not be more proud. Some of those pictures are just of some of the examples of the ensembles that we had. We had a Clack Middle School Jazz Ensemble, an elementary honor choir that featured 4 to 5 students per elementary campus, drum lines, bands, marching bands, soloists. That is the Soundwave Handbell Choir performing as well. So we utilized and showcased most of our programs, and we will be doing something very similar this year. So that's how the year started, and it kind of paved the way for a great year. So our achievements in art, we discussed some of them earlier, but in the team event, that's an elementary art contest. We had 96 out of 98 entries receive a 4 rating. And again, in art, that's exemplary. In music, it's terrible, but in art, it's one of the best. In junior vase, which is a middle school competition, we had 62 of 68 entries receive a 4. Vase, we had 106 out of 138 entries receive a 4, and the 138 is an increase of 36 from last year, so they are really increasing the level of participation and doing a tremendous job. At State Vase, as we mentioned earlier, 11 students took 13 works and 7 received a 4 rating. At our Abilene Education Foundation Young Masters exhibition, we had 10 scholarships that were awarded by AEF to 8 students totaling $7,500. If you have not seen that exhibition, I highly encourage you to see that as well. It is extraordinary. At the Scholastic event, we had AISD students receiving 4 gold keys, 2 silver keys, and 5 honorable mention. Keys to what? I'm not sure yet. I'm still learning all of that. Another achievement in art that I would like to highlight tonight is the community service and volunteer project that Abilene High has done this year. Part of our District of Distinction is a volunteer hours portion, and Abilene High, just in their art department, completed over 90 hours of volunteer service time in our community. This was from face painting to making projects for teachers, for different subjects or different assignments that they may have coming up. It's really quite great. Ms. Fuller's doing a great job with her team of art teachers there at Abilene High. In theater, we had 8 Abilene High and 8 Cooper High School students qualify for the National Thespian Festival. In one-act play, Abilene High advanced to the second round of competition, and we had 1 student named Best Performer. We had 1 student at Abilene High and 1 at Cooper named the All-Star Technician. 2 at Abilene High, 1 at Cooper named to the All-Star Cast. We had 2 at each high school named to the Honorable Mention All-Star Cast. At the Junior Varsity One-Act Play Festival, Abilene High was the only school that competed in that. They had the best technical individual, 1 student named to the All-Star Cast, and 2 students named to the Honorable Mention All-Star Cast. We have a middle school one-act play festival that we started just a few years ago. This is like a training opportunity for our middle school theater programs where they can go to one of the high schools. We alternate between Cooper and Abilene High each year so that they each get the experience. And the director at each campus leads the contest, or the festival rather. And they go the day before, just like they would at one-act play when they are in the high school level. They go the day before for a technical rehearsal and kind of learn exactly how the day is going to look, and then they compete the next day. We had all 4 of our campuses that participated, did a tremendous job, and Man Middle School won first place for the 2nd year in a row. In band, both Abilene High and Cooper marching bands advanced to the Area A marching contest. Both bands received the Sweepstakes Award for this school year. 9 out of the 12 bands in our district earned first division at the UIL Concert Sight Reading Evaluations. I'm not sure if this has been mentioned yet, but UIL no longer calls it a contest, concert and sight reading. They now call it an evaluation. And this is basically, it's the equivalent of the STAR exam for music students. And so eligibility is no longer a requirement for that level of competition because it does not advance to another round. This is basically our way of looking and making sure that they are adequate in all the skills that we've taught for the year, all the TEKs that they were supposed to learn. So that's why UIL has changed that to an evaluation process rather than a competitive process. 61 students were named to the Middle School Big Country Honor Band, 37 students named to the TMEA High School All-Region Band, 21 students advanced to the next level of area, and 2 students were named to the TMEA All-State Band, which we recognized earlier this year. 249 middle school students received a Division I solo medal. That number keeps increasing. We have more students in grades 6 through 8 that are participating and doing a great job. 124 high school students received UIL Division I solo and ensemble medals at the region level contest. From there, 92 students advanced to state. We had 7 gold medals, 9 silver medals, and 27 ensemble gold medals. Max Frick, who's a freshman at Cooper High School, was named an outstanding performer. He's a percussion student that studies with Mr. Stevenson, and outstanding performer is like state champion. We're going to honor them next month, but it is a huge honor. In each day of competition, the judge selects one person in their room for the day that is the best in the room, and this young man earned that honor in that room. And it's huge because at the state level, you're competing against the best of the best. Achievements in choir, we had 11 out of 16 choirs earn the UIL sweepstakes, 58 students named to the middle school Big Country Honor Choir, 18 high school students made the TME All-Region Choir, 9 then advanced to the pre-area, 4 high school students made the TME All-Area Choir. We had 148 middle school students receive a Division I solo medal, 46 high school students received a Division I solo medal at the region contest, and then 46 advanced to state, receiving 10 gold medals, 11 silver medals, and Isaiah Jaramillo was named an outstanding performer for the choral division. And this is huge. He's a senior, just accepted a scholarship to Abilene Christian University, and we are so proud. He's going to do some great things. And this year was the first annual 6th grade Singabration. I was approached early on last year about doing something special and unique for our 6th grade choral students because there was just nothing that was really there. So we got all of the 6th graders. That picture is the day at Hardin-Simmons with all of them on stage. And they had a clinic and concert. Ramel Derrick and Wendy Weeks from Abilene High served as our clinicians, and it was a lot of fun. And I think they realized that they're really glad to be teaching at the high school level. So it was a long, fun day.
Before you move on, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
The word sweepstakes, you keep saying it. What does it mean?
So that's great that you bring that up tonight, because I was going to just talk about that, and then I saw that this slide right here was incorrect, and I was like, I'll skip that tonight. I'll come back to that.
Oh,
so this slide is
welcome.
wrong. So let me tell you what sweepstakes is. Thank you. Sweepstakes, let me go back one right there. So as you see, the Abilene High and Cooper marching bands, they received a Division I in marching contest. When you combine that with the varsity band in the spring semester getting a Division I at concert and sight reading evaluations, those two together make sweepstakes. No one else gets sweepstakes. They all say they get sweepstakes, but they don't. They get Division Is, they get trophies, all the same thing. But the whole point of the sweepstakes is that it's a combination of the fall and the spring semester, and it has to be the varsity ensemble of the band in the spring that helps the whole band earn sweepstakes. All the other bands could get 1s and they could get a 2, and that meant the whole band would not get a sweepstakes for the year.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So on to orchestra. We had 6 out of our 12 orchestras earn superior ratings at the UIL evaluations this year. 37 students named to our middle school Big Country Honor Orchestra. 8 students named to the TMEA All-Region Orchestra. 122 middle school students receiving a Division I on a solo. We had 7 high school students receive Division I at solo and ensemble at the region contest. 4 of those students advanced to state, where we had 1 gold medal and 2 silver medals. Another thing that we did for the first time this year is we had a 6th grade orchestra festival where all of our 6th grade orchestras from Abilene AISD went head to head in a competition. And they were preparing music. They wanted to do something similar to what the choral teachers were talking about and have something unique just for their 6th graders to get them excited about staying in orchestra for the next couple of years. So they each prepared a concert. I bought a giant trophy, and we had a contest, and it was intense. I saw lots of excitement that day, and I saw a lot of tears. I didn't realize how important it was, but they clearly had worked very hard, and so it's something we're going to continue to do. Achievements in drill team. Gold Rush from Abilene High attended the Crowd Pleasers Regionals contest, where they took home the best in class in the lyrical, pom, and jazz team routines. They took home best in class in their officer routines, which were the lyrical and jazz sections. They had the highest overall GPA in all divisions at a 4.0, and they were the Grand Champion Classic team. The Cougarettes, they competed at the Showtime International Dallas Grand Finale, where they received sweepstakes and grand champions in the novelty, contemporary, and pom team routines, as well as Best in Category, Applause Award, Supreme Award for Best Overall Novelty Routine in the novelty section. So what all that means is, I'm not real sure, but they did great. The applause award, I'm assuming they just clapped really loud. I'm not sure, but they did a great job. Both of our drill team instructors do a tremendous job. The year, I wouldn't say ended, but in February we had a great treat. The Voice of Taylor Honor Choir was selected to perform at TMEA, which is a huge honor. Only 4 groups in the entire state were selected for this honor, and they had to be invited. So they went through a rigorous application process at the end of last year, and then out of all of the applicants were selected to perform. It was beautiful. We've already talked about it in this room a few times, but it was something that I had to highlight once again. And my favorite memory will always be that escalator when the kids said, on the way to the concert, are we going to get to ride the escalator again? Like, let's focus on the concert, please. Field trips and community partners. This is something that we really take great pride in Abilene ISD. In the Children's Performing Arts Series, or CPAS, and Young Audience of Abilene, we had all second grade students attend Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, a musical. That's a picture of that production right there. Filled up the Paramount. It was a great day. The ACU opera performance of Hansel and Gretel, we provided that for all of the choir and theater students in grades 6 through 8. Abilene Ballet Theater, a production of The Nutcracker, we do that annually, and we show that to all of the Abilene ISD 4th grade students. The Abilene Philharmonic Discover Music Concert is another annual event that we do. This includes all AISD 5th grade students, and we added band and orchestra students in grades 6 through 8 this year. They had been attending the opera in the past and expressed interest that they wanted to attend a Philharmonic concert instead of the opera, so we kind of moved some things around and sent some theater kids to the opera and sent some band kids to the Philharmonic. That included featuring 2,150 students in Abilene ISD. Excuse me. The National Center for Children's Illustrated Literature, the NICL, we had a busy year with them. The Rafael Lopez exhibit and workshop, we had 2,089 elementary students that were impacted by that workshop. Ortiz had a special partnership during the project where they helped with a mural. The Middle School Honors Art Initiative was also a partner with that. Lauren Long, a children's illustrator, he came to Abilene and did campus visits at Taylor and Austin. We had family nights where the NICL participated at Ward, Purcell, and Alcorta. And we had a district art show at the NICL where we had 769 visitors. At the Grace Museum, we had art lessons at AISD campuses where over 1,900 students were served. Youth Art Month show, we had 983 works displayed. The Young Masters Art Show, we had 40 works displayed. And workshop field trips, we went to the Grace this year, we went to Meow Wolf. These field trips are put on as part of the process as the students enter the Young Masters competition. School tours, we had 750 students served. We do tours at the Grace Museum, and they have activities for our students. History traveling trunks, we had 650 students served. GT Science and Art was a program at Austin. We had art teacher summer workshops. We do that every year. We just finished those up at the Grace this last week, where all of our teachers go and learn from educators at the Grace. With Young Audiences of Abilene, we had after-school programs focused in the arts, theater, dance, art, hip-hop for 4th and 5th grade students. Bonham, Bassetti, Dias Ortiz, Stafford, and Ward were the schools that participated in that, and we kind of rotate that each year, try to spread that around. We also had a new program this year called the RAISE program, Responsive Arts in School Education, where we had a guest that Young Audiences sponsored that attended a class at Thomas and Bassetti Elementary for an entire week where they integrated art into what they were doing in the classroom. So everything that they were doing, they would take that and then relate it to how they could do it in an art project or how that would relate. So it was a very neat project, and we're going to continue that with Young Audiences as well. This year we had 3 district distinctions. We had the Best Communities for Music Education for the 8th year by the NAM Foundation. For the 4th year, we had the District of Distinction by the TAEA, Texas Art Educators Association. And for the 1st year, we had the Award of Distinction for the Texas Educational Theater Association. Each of these have guidelines that we try to it's like a standard to achieve. And so for the theater one, for example, we applied for that for the first time this year, and there's a certain level that we achieved this year. There's different categories that can take us to the next level, which then gives us ideas on how we can grow our programs and provide different opportunities, which then strengthens what we do in theater, and not only that, but then in art and music as well. Any questions?
That's a very important part of education, I believe, and so having that much success and participation in working in the areas where we need to grow participation, which I'm assuming a lot of the 6th grade workshops were for, that's great, great work.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, I just have a comment that it's pretty important what your team does. We should not underestimate the power of fine arts education.
Thank you.
It's remarkable.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Very good. Next, back up is Mr. Jim Garfield, our Executive Director of Athletics, with the report for us.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good to see you all again. Okay, so this is our staff. Lou Moore is here with me tonight, so been with us a year, and I don't know if y'all know Fred Scott, but Fred Scott is an amazing tennis player. Do y'all know that?
I do
Oh,
know
yeah.
Todd.
And I get to work with him every Friday night. This is our athletic department at Abilene High. We have a change in the feeder. Mike Fisher is going over to take the head girls soccer position at Abilene High, and Stephen Childress is coming over from Cooper to be the boys coordinator over at Craig. It's a good move for us. This is our Cooper High feeder program. There's no changes there. We're in our second year of our realignment, so our districts will not change this year. So our Division I football, Division II football, our all sports, and our swim and dive, we're all in the same district this coming year. Now, following year, that's when it changes. These are the sports that we compete in, team and individual at the high school level. It was great to see the esports kids here tonight. Coach has done an outstanding job over there, as all of our coaches have. We had a tremendous year. The sports that we offer at the middle school level. This is our city champions. Man had an outstanding year on the girls' side. They were city champs in cross country, volleyball, basketball, track, and Madison was in soccer. Over on the boys' side, Craig won the cross country championship, won it in football, basketball. Man won in football, basketball, and track, and then we had a split between Man and Craig on the soccer. So good year for Man. This is going into pre-athletics. You know, we talk about sixth grade, right? We target our kids, try to get them involved, doing things. We try to run it like an athletic program where they've got to dress out, they got to do things right as far as grade-wise, behavior-wise, things like that. We break it down during the year where we go over things for football and volleyball. We're always going to be doing weight training throughout the year, teaching them how to do the proper techniques and things like that. And at the end of the year, we're going to give them the seventh grade expectations on what they've got to do to be able to participate in athletics at the middle school level. This is something that's really cool. Our intramural program has really done a good job. We've really done a good job there. Stacy Herring, when she retired, she come over as a part-time, just an hourly worker, and she's been helping me run the intramural programs, and she's done a super job. So we offer flag football, volleyball, basketball, soccer, and track. So if they can't compete against other schools, so intramurals only compete against each other in the schoolhouse that they're in. When I went and spoke at a AD's convention a year ago, I talked about our sixth grade pre-ath in my presentation, and there was we got a lot of input, or not input, but a lot of excitement about wanting to do it at other school districts. So about 10 school districts started doing our plan. UIL playoffs. If you can see this, we only had 3 teams not make the playoffs this year at Abilene High or Cooper. Abilene High actually, all their teams made the playoffs, every one of them in every sport. Cooper, they didn't make it, but in all sports. But we had a great year as far as representing our district. Our team sports championships, Abilene High, they shared the Division I football with Monterey, and Abilene High softball won it. Of course, football, softball, and team tennis advanced to the bi-district. And then Abilene softball went on to the regional quarterfinals. And she's let's see where I'm at.
The other button.
I'm going the wrong way.
The other button goes back.
The Abilene High softball, she's graduating 3 seniors, so she's got a bunch of kids coming back. She's got a kid in the circle that's phenomenal. District champ individual was our boys and girls cross-country team. Another great thing about this is that Cooper was the runner-up in both boys and girls in our cross-country. So we took all 4 teams to the regional championships. It was really neat. Regional qualifiers, again, we dominated. We made the playoffs and everything. Our state qualifiers, cross-country, we had a good showing with the Abilene High girls and the Cooper individual, our diving, gymnastics, powerlifting, and e-sports. Our participation numbers, we're at 1474 at the high school level, 1914 at the middle school, a total of 3,388 participating. And when you look at the percentage, it's close to 45% of secondary kids that are enrolled are participating in athletics. This is something that I'm really proud of. When I got here, we started tracking the GPA of our athletes. That first year, 22, 23, that was a 7 through 12 we tracked. And so that means every 6 weeks, 88% of our kids are are passing and are eligible to compete to the next 6 weeks, right? That 23-24 school year, we brought in our 6th grade pre-ath. We dropped a little bit, but this year you can see we've bounced and we come back up. So I'm really proud of our coaches and our kids for really taking pride in having this kind of number. So 88% of our kids every 6 weeks are moving on to the next 6 weeks. And I'm hoping that the new 9-week plan, I'm hoping that number increases. Our superlatives, so this is team individual. We had 18 superlatives in the all-district. We had 84 first-team all-districts, 63 second-teamers, and 101 honorable mentions. We had 18 all-states. We had 117 academic all-districts. We had 95 academic all-states. And then we have, right now today, we have 37 kids that are going off to college to continue their sport. Our AISD coaches honors are for Abilene High feeder. Coach Harmon is the second vice president for the High School Baseball Association. He's going to actually step into the president's role. I think it's next year, I believe. Coach Aguirre is a rock mentor this year, and she was also coach of the year for 5A in softball. Justin Rees, basketball committees for the THSCA and TABC. Coach Cook, he was our national gymnastics team head coach, which they won last week, the gymnastics team that he was a head coach of. Julie Harris, just this last weekend, she was named the FCA Huddle Coach of the Year. She got an award out at the football game this past Saturday. Rosemary Martin serves on a committee. Billy Abbey, a trainer over at Abilene High, serves on the training committee for the association. Stacy Bryans with the Texas Tennis Association, and then Coach Wayne Williams, he was a nominee for the Region 2 Golf Coach of the Year. So we had 2 golf coaches pick that up. Mitch Astlin at Cooper was the boys coach. So they were our regional coaches. They advanced to Coach of the Year for the association. They didn't make that piece of it, but they represented us in Region 2. Coach Roan, he's on the THSCA Board of Directors. Coach Bacon, Super Elite Team Committee Chair. Coach Hutchin is a mentor for Rock. There's Cook again. Stover, he's on the he was a coach of the week for the Texas High School Baseball Coach Association. Mitch is the Region 2 Boys Coach of the Year. Coach Sims serves on the golf committee, and Kevin Johnson serves on the Texas Girls Coaches Association Board of Directors. Some of the things that we got coming up and that we finished, Coach Moore and I just got back from our athletic directors convention. We've got our girls satellite clinic up in Lubbock this weekend. July 14th, our Girls Coach Association Coaches School. July 20th through the 22nd, the Texas High School Coaching School. And then July 25th is our all coaches meeting that we have here in the district. You're invited to come. It's pretty fun. We give away a lot of prizes. SALT, Never got to it last year, just got too busy, but I'm really gonna push hard to get that, and that's a student athletic leadership team. Seat at the table again, and then the head coaches academy. So some of the things I want to talk about here real quick, you know, the seat at the table is an initiative from the Texas High School Association for just bringing our women's coaches together, where they can network, share ideas, you know, support each other. It's a really neat thing that we just completed our second year. We'll definitely continue that next year. Of course, some of the coaches there. Our head coaches academy, this was our second year doing this. What we did different this year is that we added a head coaches panel. And if you look in that picture right there, there's 6 head coaches up there, and the people that went through the program, they got to ask them questions on what's like being a head coach. And it was pretty amazing. There was 9 scripted questions that they partnered up with, so they were prepared for those answers, right? And then I threw a curveball to the head coaches. Each one of them got one that was unscripted, and some of the responses that came really was amazing to hear. I'm going to do that again, definitely. Our ROC program, of course, this is the rare, outstanding, compelled, knowledgeable. These are the young coaches that have been identified, and these are our ROCs that have been through the program or that are going through the program. Now remember, they've got to apply. They've got to go through a search to be part of this program, and you can see we've got a pretty good list of what's going on. These are our 2 ROCs, Ileana and Brooklyn. There are 2 ROCs this year that'll be going down to the association. Pushed it again.
The other way.
Okay, a little bragging here, right? So we hosted 8 playoff football games out at the stadium. We hosted 8 soccer playoff games out at the stadium, 4 basketball playoff games, 3 volleyball playoff games, 2 softball series, and 2 baseball series. People want to come and compete on our fields, you know, and Abilene is a great place to come. It's a midway point. Bring a lot of things in here. How'd I do, Jordan? You didn't have to mute the mic. One town, one family. That's our motto. Do you all got any questions?
That's a lot. We appreciate, we all know that I feel athletics is a big part of keeping kids enrolled in school and accountable to somebody.
Yes, ma'am.
Besides the classroom teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Coach Garfield,
Sir.
we've known each other for over 25 years.
Yes.
And I know who you are, and you represent yourself as who you are every time you're in front of me and in front of this group, in front of anybody walking around a game. You should be real proud of how you present yourself and how you support the work that you do in our school district. The thing I want to highlight tonight is not just all the accolades that happen because our coaches work hard to support our kids and our kids work hard in order to achieve the very best that they can, but your passion and drive to develop the next set of leaders in our school district is unprecedented, and it's something this school district should hang our hat on. It's incredible.
Thanks, man.
Yes.
Anything?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Let's move to item 7C, our goal progress measure update. We have Ms. Carrie Thornton, our Executive Director of Curriculum.
Thornburg.
Elementary curriculum.
Yes, that's right.
Let me get this. Executive Director of Elementary Curriculum.
Yes, ma'am.
And Stephanie Jackson, which is our Special Education Executive Director.
Yeah, do you want to explain why you're here?
Explain.
I'm
okay.
here for Lindsay Williamson. She is at the TIA conference, and so I'm just standing in for her
Right.
and
We're glad to have
presenting
you.
her part.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
She knows this stuff, though, so.
She does.
So we're, kind of feel like I should sing this or something. So you do push-ups and I'll sing it, and then we'll fit in with everything that's been going on tonight. Okay. So we're doing a quick update for you, an academic update on the board goals that we've been working on for the past 2 years. But these are board goals that are set really based on STAR scores. So like our literacy goal is our 3rd grade STAR score, I'm just trying to remind you, raise our meets and above, meets and masters score up.
and our math, third grade math as well. And so that's just a reminder there of what the goals are. Again, this is the, not approaches, the passing, but the meets and masters scores. So here is the update from finishing our spring map test. So we're not here to present to you STAR scores tonight. That will come from Mrs. Blue later. We're just giving you an update on what we've been tracking throughout the year. So at elementary, we've been using the map testing. So you can see in the highlighted column, we've made some gains from winter up to spring of this year. We didn't meet our goal for this year. We're still working towards that 2027, spring of 2027 goal. But you can see that we're making some gains. The same with math. We've moved up from winter up to spring, still trying to reach that yearly goal that we've met. But we're still not satisfied with the progress that we're making. And so I have a couple things that I want to just show you and maybe explain what we're going to be doing next year to help tell this tale a little bit. Okay, every time I stand up here and talk about these goals, I talk about how MAP is a bell curve, and this is a nationally normed test. So it's not just a Texas test. These are students from across the nation taking this test, and the way they rank our students ends up being naturally on a bell curve. And so what I brought you tonight was how the report in MAP gives our percentage rankings. And so I gave you an example down there of the color bar of where kids would fall in their performance, noting that the yellow part of the bar would be like where most of the kids, like in second grade, would be performing nationwide. So we would say that that's pretty much a performing on grade level. Does that make sense? Ring a bell from how I've tried to explain it last time? So what I've been bringing to you is really not the yellow, but moving up. So the green and the blue squares, like more of not the approaches, but meets and masters. So if you keep that in mind, I know this is hard to see, but I can put this on a board note to you if you'd like to be able to read it easier. But I just wanted you to see that if you wanted to really look at, okay, we're trying to move the bar of our students that are hitting the meets and masters level equivalent on MAP, maybe you would want to really know, and how many of our kids are actually at least performing on grade level. So I think that helps a little bit. So if you look at like kindergarten math, on the chart behind, if I can get there, this is math. Kindergarten, which is the first one, we are reporting 46% at that meets or higher equivalent level. So if I go back here, oops, still going the wrong way. Okay, so if you look at kindergarten math, the green and the blue add up to 46%, but if you're also wanting to add in, and how many kids would be considered just working on grade level at least, you would also add in that 20% of yellow. Does that make sense? So in kindergarten with math, on this assessment, really 66% of our kids would be considered working at or above grade level compared to students in Illinois and students in Nevada, whoever else is taking this test. So I thought maybe that might be a little bit of help. Do you have any questions so far on how to look at that? Is this still appropriate measurement, and you're pleased with this nationwide measurement, even though it doesn't line up to Texas-wide?
So
Is it appropriate?
What I think that our department feels is that this is a good assessment to use to see how our students are performing relative to not just our Texas standards. It is applicable, but just across the nation, how is Texas and how is Abilene stacking up to kids that are performing elsewhere? It's a good quality in WEA assessments, a good quality assessment, and it's not just a standalone assessment of everybody's taking the same 50 questions like STAR test. The child starts out
And as they perform well, the questions might get tougher until they need to back off of it, or the questions might become less challenging until the assessment finds the place where the student is working at a successful pace. And then that's where they get the percentage of being able to perform at this level of success in the grade level. Does that help?
Is it immediate data for the teachers?
It is. Well, within the system it is, and then the teachers, as soon as the system turns it over, the teachers can see it. And then what our department's been working on with the teachers and with the administrators is, well, then what do you do with that data, right? And so a test is only as valid as the data that you get out of it, and then also what you do with it. And so that's really what we've been trying to focus on this past year is, well, now what? You know, we can assess them all day, but what do we do with it? We'd love to see less red and orange, but with most of these, we're at least seeing half or more of our kids are performing on grade level and above. So, but that's not where we want to stop. And so I think our department feels like, at least in the elementary world, this is really kind of telling half of the story of why we want to make such big changes in the elementary world, because obviously we're meeting the needs of a lot of our kids, but not all of them. And so so some of the things that you all have been a part of and that you're helping us with is putting in new curriculum, new RLA curriculum. We're really excited about that. We're turning the PLC model into really an intensive lesson internalization and preparation for instruction. So things like that we're really working on. And even at the middle school. Would you want to say anything about that? PLC.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking about
CCMR.
No, about the new RLA curriculum, Amplify. So with PLCs in the middle school, we focus this year on subject, like not just grade level, but pulling in like all of the same subjects together, or all of the same the subjects across grade levels together. So then they were planning together. So as they moved up, if they had a skill that they were working on in the 6th grade, it would complement what they needed in the 7th grade, and then complement what they needed in the 8th grade. So we might not see a huge amount of growth this year with that, but next year they will have that prerequisite skill, and then it will show again in the 8th grade. And I worked a lot with the social studies groups in the first semester, and they're only tested in the 8th grade. And so hopefully that will show a huge growth in our 8th grade testing in 2 years. So it's a slow process, but it is a process.
And just one more thing about the PLC. We worked really hard, that's professional learning communities. We worked really hard at the elementary and middle school level this year of helping the campuses get a rhythm to that and a process and a framework to be able to work together. And so now we're really turning that up a notch. And that's one of the reasons why I asked Dr. Jackson if she wanted to say anything about it, because it does look different at middle school than it does at elementary. But the point this year really is going to be, how can we use the PLC, which is that grade level or that department working together, to take the new RLA curriculum or the math curriculum that we've already been using, but we're trying to do a relaunch out of. Really take those lessons apart, and how am I, not just what am I teaching, but how am I teaching it? How do I plan for the kids that are going to struggle with this? How am I going to plan for the kids who are already going to know it before I ever teach it? And really dig into the data when they're doing their ongoing assessments. So between curriculum and really working on that pre-lesson planning and then the after reflection, and then changing our ICs to an instructional coach model, I think we have a good plan going forward. And then we also just made a note about the Bassetti impact model, with trying to think of staffing in a different manner. The Moonshot grant that we're trying to do. Just trying different ways to look at our staffing, to try to come up with ways that we can impact as many kids as we can with the best teachers while we grow other teachers. So those are some plans we have to address that we're seeing some progress, but not the progress that we're hoping to yet. So these seismic shifts, we hope are going to make a difference this time next year.
I want to say something else.
Yes, please.
And one of the things that she didn't talk about, but on the special ed side, is we added a special ed instructional coach. And so we have instructional coaches that go in and help with the elementary math and the elementary reading. And then we have a science that does all level science. Well, now we have one for special ed specifically. So when we have an inclusion teacher who's either pushing in or doing resource and pulling out, they have a coach that can go in and work with them. And so if they're struggling with strategies on how to work with a kid because maybe the learning disability is, they haven't worked with that before, or the reading is low and they need new strategies because they're not getting it, we have an instructional coach that's what she's focusing on. And so we haven't had that before, and that was, I felt like that was very important, and y'all let me do it, so I'm excited about that.
Good. And just one more thing about the MAP test, and then I'm going to hand it over to Stephanie to talk about CCMR, is just not to think about the MAP test as a pass or fail the way we think about the STAR test. It really is more of a diagnostic tool of where is this child in relation to other children. And like I said before, it's what do we do with the data after that that's important. So we do get good data out of it, and I think the teachers are becoming more equipped with what to do with it, especially as they're working in teams to do that through PLC. Any questions about my part before I turn it over to CCMR?
I do. I just didn't want to hog all
You're
questions.
fine.
So whether you're going back to that, all the different colored line, bar line.
Like that.
So there's the red. So it's a kindergarten, no matter who you are, where you are. Even if you're a special education student, you take the MAP test as a kindergartner.
Correct.
So that's not necessarily, the regular classroom teacher might not be teaching that. So the special education teacher and team will take those assessments and work with those 18% kindergartners who need to be caught up.
Okay, so
especially kindergartners, because
most of the kindergartners. If the kindergartner is in a practical academics class, so like in a self-contained room, so if they are intellectually disabled or low functioning autistic, they are in a self-contained classroom and they don't take MAP test.
Okay.
They are assessed differently. If they're in ADAPT class, like our medically fragile children, they don't take MAP test because they are assessed differently. And so this is our, we have lots of special ed kids who are in the general kindergarten classroom and in our transition classroom. Any of our special ed kids who have behavioral needs, but they are able to do regular curriculum, like on-level curriculum, they would take the MAP test. And so a special education teacher would be working with them on their academic needs if they had any kind of accommodations. And so some of them may be these that are in the below or or far below, and some of them may not, just depending on what their deficits are.
Okay, thanks.
And then just a reminder that the spring test is different than the winter test or the fall test was, because the child is continuing to grow in their abilities, and so we're also testing them, or the assessment is testing them on continuing to grow. So they might have more knowledge but not show that they've moved up from orange to yellow if they really aren't showing much more progress even though they have more knowledge. So it's not that they're static, it's the way that the test is norming it with all the other kids. And so that's just different than the way that we look at and grade an assessment in our classroom or STAR test. The other thing that was not on this list, and I know you probably noticed first grade is an area that we're really watching and trying to figure out how to help. This should have been listed on the list, and it was an oversight of mine. We're changing that first grade report card to a skills-based report card this coming year, the way we've been doing kindergarten for the past several years, which gives the parents and the teachers much more information about what skills can this first grader do and not do, where do we need to focus in, instead of we have an 85 in reading. That doesn't say as much as we can identify characters, we can say sight words, but we can't do these things, you know, so it's much more detailed with first grade. I think we're going to have much more targeted instruction because of ongoing assessment to help with our report cards. So I think that that's a good first grade example specifically.
Okay, so the third goal is about college and career military readiness, and just a little background reminder. In 2022, our CCMR was at 48%, and our goal is to hit 60% by 2027, which we should hit that this year. Super excited about that. Our intermediate goal was to get to 54%. CCMR is part of the high school accountability system. These are all the different ways that the accountability system is tricky. Let's just say that. So it can be any one of these ways. So it's just tricky. But CCMR is part of it in any way that it is any way that it is done. It is part of it. So CCMR is extremely important for our high schools. There's multiple ways that you can get a CCMR point. Each student only gets 1 point. You can get CCMR multiple ways. Like my child who just graduated had CCMR multiple ways, but he only gets 1 point. He only gets to count it once. So you can get it by scoring high enough on your TSI test. You can get it by scoring high enough on ACT, SAT. You can get it by taking 3 hours of dual credit in English, or 3 hours of dual credit in math, or 9 hours of dual credit in anything, which that's very helpful because we have kids who take U.S. history and they take it in the fall and the spring, and so they've got 6 hours, and then they take a speech class in dual credit, and then that's their 9 hours, and they get CCMR. You can get CCMR by scoring a 3 or higher on an AP test. You can get it by getting an associate's degree, which we started an associate's degree program this fall. So in 3 years, we'll have some associate's degree earners. You can get it by earning an industry-based certification, which we have several of those students every year at the lift. You can get it by having a level 1 or level 2 certification, by getting an IEP with workforce readiness and special education advanced diploma plan, or if you enlist in the military. And that one's a little tricky because you have to have proof of that. You can't just say, I'm joining the military. You have to have a DD4 form, which you don't really get until you finish basic training. And so we have to, 2 years ago, and I think even last year, we had to get the recruiter to send that back to us so that we could upload it. But my understanding is that TEA is going to do that for us starting next year. And so that'll be a little bit helpful. But we have been able to get those forms. Our recruiters in Abilene have been very helpful. We've been able to get those forms every year. So over the past 5 years, the component score, and I was so very thankful that Janae Weidman was here today because I had to ask a clarifying question. Our component score is actually how many points we got, and then the scale score is how that translates to the A to F rating. And so the 48% that we had in the 22-23 school year, that was our whole district, and Woodson was factored into that. Woodson is now, it's counted differently because it's an alternative campus. So, and CCMR is a year behind. So our graduates from 23-24 will count for our accountability this year. And so we already know those numbers. We had 85% at Abilene High, we had 81% at Cooper, and we had 88% at Adams. And so we know our score, and Woodson is on the alternative education accountability. And so we know our percentage will be in the 80th percentile. So should be way better. Should be way better. Yeah. And then.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you talk about why in 2021 lower component score equal to higher scale score? Maybe I should talk about that.
You talk about that.
You want to come up to a microphone? He can sit next to Mike, or you come sit in your own seat.
Welcome, by the way.
They changed the rules.
They did, yeah. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. They did, so
Hi, Dr.
CCMR, hey, good evening. Thank y'all for being here.
This is Dr. Kuhn, Superintendent of Schools.
Yes, glad I could make a late appearance, but I appreciate everyone's flexibility with me. I did get my niece married, so that was good.
Welcome home.
So they made it harder to get your CCMR scale score up. So you can look, Abilene High in 2020, 2021, they got 60 CCMR points, and that counted as a 90. And you can see the change happened with the 23-24 numbers there in order to get, or no, yeah, in 23-24, in order to get, no, I'm sorry, 21-22, you can see the nosedive. That same 60 component score, instead of getting a 90 for the school district on the accountability system, it only earned a 67. And so essentially TEA just changed the grading scale from one year to the next, and it's taken us a couple of years to basically adjust to that change. But you can see that we're now there, and projecting ahead to 24-25, you can see Adams is going to have a 100, and Abilene High is knocking on the door of an A. So thank you, and I apologize.
Dr. Kuhn, before you leave, maybe it's also important to note, when did we find out this change?
I'm going to let you answer that. I know it was after the fact. It was like finding out how many points a basket is worth in basketball after the game's over, right?
Exactly. A year after
the game's over.
Thank you.
When many of those students have graduated and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
right?
a year after, because that's when it's reported. And so we didn't know the rules had changed until our accountability went way down.
Help me remember, who can earn the points? Anybody,
Seniors.
I guess. Only seniors?
Well, no. The seniors are the ones that count. And so you can earn your CCMR starting as a freshman if you take a dual credit. You only get 1 point though, the whole time you're in high school. So if you earn it as a freshman, you've earned your point.
And you can do a whole bunch of other stuff.
You can keep going. You've just already earned your point, which is fine.
For your class.
For your class, yes, ma'am.
When they graduate.
And it counts for the school's accountability when you graduate.
Oh.
So it only counts when you graduate, but you can earn it starting as your freshman year.
Okay. That's very enlightening.
Some things that we did to move this from the 70% and 60% to 87 and 90. We added college prep, English and math in the 22-23 school year. Those are ways that students who have not taken any dual credit or AP, they can take college prep, which is it is literally a math class or an English class that is preparing them for college. We use a program that's called Texas College Bridge, and they can take this class. They take a TSI-2 test at the end of it, and they get their CCMR. We are continuing to increase our dual credit. We have added different options that created a lot of flexibility. We added McMurray, that's all online. Cisco also offers online, so they can go to Cisco or they can take it online, which has offered a lot of flexibility for our students. We've credentialed a lot of our teachers to teach dual credit on our campuses, so Angelo State does that. Also, McMurray and Cisco are doing that with us. We are focusing a lot on the IBCs in our CTE courses. We have done a lot of training with our counselors just so that when they meet with students, they know what to say to help kids earn their CCMR. We've provided a lot of tools for the students just as they're making choices. we've worked a lot with the colleges in the last couple of years, just strengthening those relationships, and so that's made a huge difference with our dual credit, which has been really great. TSTC has added some programs for us in our CTE that are straight dual credit, and so our students who may not go to a four-year university are earning their CCMR points through TSTC dual credit. And moving forward, we're going to continue to promote and grow the associate's degree program. I can't remember if it was, I guess it was last spring, we made an adjustment to the grading policy for GPA. So wasn't it last spring? Yeah. I think so. So now dual credit for starting this year, for this year's freshmen, dual credit will count towards their GPA. We haven't done that. So dual credit was not counting towards their GPA at all. And so we made that adjustment, and so now students are not being, students, if they do very well in their dual credit, it will benefit them in their GPA. One thing that we are having to do is we're having to pay really close attention to what TEA is saying about college prep classes. At the end of this school year, they started talking about you can't just use any program and in your college prep math and English and still get CCMR. It was going to have to be an approved program through TEA, and so they had a cutoff date that different curriculums had to apply to be an approved program. Texas College Bridge did apply for that. We're supposed to find out soon if they're approved. So we're just having to kind of wait and watch to see if what we've been using will be approved through TEA for our students to continue to use to get CCMR. So we're just waiting. Do you have any questions?
It's a lot, but we do need those progress updates, and thank y'all very much.
Okay, thank y'all.
Thank y'all, yes, very exciting. Thank y'all so much for staying with us. We'll now move on to item 8, business items requiring board action. So, am I gonna call on you?
Pretty
The board
much.
discussed possibility taking action to select an auditor for the purpose of conducting an efficiency audit on the district. Yes, that's why, because Ms. Hines not here.
Ms. Hines is not here. Hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer Hines, not John Kuhn or Joe Waldron, evidently. So Jen is under the weather, so I offered, instead of her pushing through and coming, to let her rest. And
thank you.
Here we go. So the purpose of approving an efficiency auditor is a required step of the voter-approved tax ratification election process. The board, you have heard a little bit about that through various workshops. Essentially, it's to do those three things. It's done by an outside entity, which we'll get to in just a second, and it's intended to provide a transparency to the voters as we go through the process of considering calling an election for some pennies. So here's a little bit of the timeline. We are at the point where it's June 9th for possible action to select an auditor. It cannot happen. There's a certain timeline. It has to be no later than 4 months before the election date, so we're within that. General election date is in November, so we're good there. The audit has 3 months to be conducted and then delivered to the school district. We will have it presented to you once it's done, and that has to be posted no later than 30 days before the election date. We expect to do that somewhere in the beginning of October upon moving forward, if that happens tonight. So it has to be done through a qualification process, so you can read that on there. Pricing is discussed afterward. We have gone through those steps. So Bailey is our recommendation to the board. They have served the school district for 10 plus years. They are right here down the street. You can see Jeremy's name there. He has presented to the board every year that I've been here, so for the last 7. Joey Elmore has been on site as the audit manager. He's very familiar with our school district. And their firm was reviewed by peers just this last January. So very well recommended. So tonight, we're asking the school board to consider our recommendation to approve Ide Bailey to perform an efficiency audit for the Abilene Independent School District and delegate to the superintendent, who's here in the audience, Dr. John Kuhn, the ability to negotiate a contract with them to do that.
Great. Is there a motion regarding the selection of our auditor?
I move to approve the selection of Ide Bailey LLP to perform the efficiency audit of Abilene ISD and to delegate authority to the superintendent or designee to negotiate, finalize, and execute a contract.
Thank you, Rodney Goodman. I will second that motion, Angie Wiley. We'll now take a roll call vote. Rodney Goodman,
Yes.
Bill Enriquez, absent. Danny Wheat,
Yes.
Blair Schrader, absent. Angie Wiley, yes. Cindy Earls, yes. I would think I was on drugs, but I'm not. Cindy Earls. Yes. Okay, we got that on record. Taylor Tidmore, absent. So we have 4 of 4 in favor. The motion passes. At this time, we're going to move to item 9, items that we covered during closed session. Is there a motion regarding personnel recommendations?
I move to approve the personnel Thank you. I move to approve the personnel recommendations as presented in closed session.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Ms. Earls.
Second?
Rodney Goodman, thank you. We'll now take a roll call vote. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Blair Schrader, absent. Angie Wiley, yes. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Bill Enriquez, absent. Taylor Tidmore, absent. Motion passes 4 of 4 in favor. The next item is our notice of proposed termination. Okay, so do we need to just do the motion? Do we have a motion regarding sending our notice of proposed termination to Mr. James Smith?
Move to approve recommendation of the superintendent as presented to send notice of proposed termination for good cause to James Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Wheat. Do we have a second?
Second.
Cindy Earls. We'll now take a roll call vote. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Angie Wiley, yes. Blair Schrader, absent. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore, absent. Bill Enriquez, absent. Motion passes with 4 of 4 in favor. There being, we good? Okay, you had a funny look on your face. Yeah, okay. Great, I'm so glad you didn't. Okay. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned and our time is 7:38. Thank you for coming and being with us tonight.
Well done. Thank you, everybody.